very primo sweats is what we've got today. This is Nick at Stridewise.com, where I look at men's boots and apparel, and my philosophy of seeking out garments that are made to last a long time does not end with boots and jeans. For years now, I have been haunted by images of reigning champs hoodies. Anytime they have a sale, it appears all over the frugal male fashion subreddit. They're like the most common sweats you'll see in like high-end fashion corners of the internet, like places like Grailed and Male Fashion Advice on Reddit. Because these sweats at well over $100 a piece are considered by many the greatest on earth. If you want elevated basics, the best version of something you can get, you know, you're gonna want a hoodie, but you wanna feel as good as possible about it, like maybe as fancy as possible as you can about a hoodie. If that's you, Rating Champ's checkout page is usually where people wind up. There are other contenders as well for like the best, like most primo luxury hoodies there are. American Giant is usually mentioned in this conversation, sometimes Flint and Tinder. They're often compared to that, and I'll do a video comparing Reigning Champ with them later on down the line, I think. But I had to just do a dedicated look at Reigning Champ. When I finally bit the bullet, I got two sets of sweats, the midweight and the heavyweight, the hoodies and the sweatpants for good measure, just to see what all the fuss is about. I paid for these full price, by the way, very sadly. And because I already had a lot of gray and black sweats, I decided to get weird and buy the desert rose color, because pink hoodies are awesome and it's nice to have something a bit different, but rest assured they have plenty of classic gray and black and blue colors, along with some seasonal offerings as well, like earth and moss. Actually, like this desert rose might be seasonal too, but we're really here today talking about the material, the construction, and the fit in this video. So everything here applies to any color you're gonna get from them. So Reigning Champ is based in Vancouver, British Columbia, and they focus on basic stripped down designs that, you know, are meant to let the materials and craftsmanship speak for itself. Everything is made in Canada, and these sweats are all 100% cotton. It's possible you're thinking that these are just cotton sweats, aren't everyone's sweats made of cotton? But most cheap hoodies are partly, if not mostly, if not entirely, polyester. Which makes sense since you can get really soft polyester clothes, and it also holds its shape better than cotton, and it's pretty durable. Like, it usually doesn't pill or fray as easily as cotton or cotton polyester blends, debatably anyway. Pilling, by the way, is when fibers break, group, and tangle together, making it look like it's kind of covered in fuzz. I think of pilling as like acne for clothes. Like, it's not pretty. Polyester also traps odor and sheds microplastics, and the durability is a double-edged sword because it means it doesn't biodegrade. I know a lot of guys don't really care about that, but a lot of guys do, and it's one reason why some people prefer natural fabrics like cotton over synthetics like polyester, which is like made from petroleum and some other stuff. What you should know about the 100% cotton Reigning Champ gear though is that they've solved a lot of these issues with their cotton, like the issues that it can like pill and fray and warp. Reigning Champ uses a very tightly woven terry pattern, also called loop back in this instance, and that has a lot of significance. The tight weave helps it to retain its shape and makes it really soft on the inside. It's very comfortable. The loop back has like a flat face and loops on the underside that give the kind of softness and comfort that is atypical for thicker cotton. It's the kind of softness people usually only get from polyester or polyester blends, and it's rare for 100% cotton like this. In fact, many people say the soft underside feels better and softer than any $40 polyester hoodie. It's up to you to make the decision. But yeah, people do rave about the softness relative to polyester. That's most of what I wanted to say about this very durable material. As far as the midweight versus the heavyweight, I mean, it's about what you'd expect. Heavyweight feels thicker and tougher and warmer, and it doesn't like fold or drape as much as the midweight. And while the word heavyweight is obviously more attractive to a lot of guys looking for like a tough, burly hoodie, it's worth noting that while it's tougher and warmer, it takes longer to break in and become comfortable. The midweight was comfy from day one. The heavyweight is a bit more like cardboard when you first get it. Some guys say that it takes like a season or two for it to get really soft and comfortable. There's no shortage of people complaining on Reddit either that they got a heavyweight one and it's too like cardboardy for them, you know? You have to give cotton some time to soften up, especially when it's like thick, you know, like think about canvas or raw denim, right? In that regard, they're a little bit similar, so take that into account when picking your weight. The midweight is plenty warm on its own though, and it's definitely the more popular fabric of the two, while the heavyweight is warmer than like most cheap jackets. Like it really is withstanding like some tough weather. If you're planning to wear a jacket over your hoodie anyway and just like wear it jacketless most of the time, like when you're indoors, you can probably opt for the midweight if it's not crazy cold, which I think is more flattering anyway. I do want to draw your attention to some of the features here before I talk a bit about the fit. For guys who worry that slim fits hamper mobility, relaxed fits obviously have more room at the slight sacrifice of the body-hugging warmth of slim fits. But Reigning Champ remedies that immobility with what's called relief ribbing here on the sides. that expands and lets the fabric move with you a bit more easily than if it went there. And the sweatpants have relief ribbing in the crotch, which I absolutely love. It means better mobility, better like squat ability in them, which is a challenge for cotton sweats that's stretching. And it also means you're not going to eventually get that faded, stretched out look at the crotch seams like you normally do in your pants. That's a really big plus. The knit cuffs, they're a really nice touch. They do get like a little bit looser with washes. I've washed this like a couple times. I haven't had many issues on the heavyweight one, but nonetheless, that is a criticism worth noting that it tends to happen when it's 100% cotton. It may stretch out a little bit. Now, when I went shopping for these, the heavyweight hoodie here was only available in a relaxed fit. I prefer slim fits myself, but what you get out of this is you can see how the two fits look. Let's talk more about the fit. For reference, I got a large in both of these for the tops. I'm 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. My chest is about 44 inches, and I usually wear a large or 42 inches for tops because brands do vanity sizing like that. They say they're 42, but they're really like 44 when they're measured. My waist these days is 33, 34, and my thighs are about 26 inches around, and I got a medium for all the bottoms. The main thing to know about the fit with Reigning Champ is that they are longer and slimmer than the average hoodie, which makes sense given they're targeting like the well-to-do city guys who are comfortable spending almost $300 on a hoodie and sweatpants. It works for me because I have like an unusually long torso as well anyway. They're not targeting like overweight dads, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. So if you're a huskier guy, you'll need to size up. Or better yet, you should just get their relaxed fit hoodie like this, which have a more vintage look anyway, that kind of brings to mind the time when athletic clothing was cut loose so you had more ease of movement, right? So you get the slim fit if you like a more tailored, modern kind of look. That's pretty obvious given the fact they're called slim and relaxed. You don't need me telling you that, but at least I'm able to show you here what they look like on the body. As for the less famous sweatpants, I got both in slim fit, although you can get relaxed fit if you prefer, where they kind of billow out a bit more down at the cuffs like old-fashioned sweatpants. I live in Manhattan and I run out for coffees and dog walks and all the like activities and demographics that slim sweats are aimed at. So I like the slim fits, and I also just like clothes that follow the shape of my body personally. Again, you probably don't need me to tell you that slimmer fits are slimmer fits, but I do want to point out that while they taper, there's still plenty of room in the thigh, which is great because I'm doing this squat program at the moment and nothing fits my thighs anymore. So yeah, they taper down, but they have a bit of room up the top. I'm not even sure if they're still being sold, honestly, anymore, these heavyweight pants, but I'm a really big fan of the slim heavyweight sweats because I know for a lot of guys, myself included, there's a concern that if you're getting slim fitting sweatpants, they're gonna, you know, like leave little to the imagination. You know, you've always got to keep an eye out down there in case you need to adjust, in case something gets a bit too visible. But this heavyweight fabric is form-fitting, but it's really, really thick, and it's thick enough that you don't have to worry about that. So that's a really big bonus if you like slimmer sweats. It's not a huge issue with the midweight ones either, but yeah, with the heavyweight ones, that's a really nice bonus. That said, the rise is a little bit higher on the midweight ones. I have a gigantic ass, and it almost always peaks out the top when I squat in the heavyweight ones. It doesn't quite, but it almost does, whereas that isn't a risk in the midweight ones. I think also because the midweight ones are softer and more broken in, I've worn them like a little bit more, but also the midweight fabric is softer and more broken in from the get-go. It's not the end of the world, but if you happen to have a big butt, it's worth remembering that after a bit of wear, the rise on the midweight ones is about a ½ inch taller than the heavyweight. All right, that's about everything. To wrap up with some pros and cons, the pros are these are more durable than just about any other sweats or cotton sweats than you're likely to find. They'll age really, really well. They'll be around forever. The stitching is really solid. They've got premium rib cuffs and hem as well. The relief ribbing on the sides of the hoodie and in the crotch of the pants is really big for mobility and durability. They're 100% cotton, and they're more environmentally friendly than polyester, and they have those touches like the tight weave terry that I mentioned earlier that make it softer and more comfortable than most cotton sweats, which tend to feel a bit like burly and rugged, you know? Plus you have the options of midweight and heavyweight and lightweight, I believe, and they're also totally made in Canada, which is, you know, it's a very developed country, strong labor laws, living wages. The minimum wage in Vancouver is actually more than 2 times higher than America's federal minimum wage, so a lot of people like that as well. So, you know, if your thing is your work is getting paid fair wages, there's an argument that it might be better to get from Canada than from America, but that's a conversation for another video. The downsides of these sweats, they are very expensive. The midweight hoodie was 145 bucks. The heavyweight one here was 170 when I bought them. The midweight sweats are 120 bucks. Heavyweight was 155. The heavyweight one takes quite a while to break in as well. Also note that as 100% cotton, these are not quite as stretchy as sweats with like elastane or spandex in them, you know, stuff like that. You can still squat in them and everything, but you feel like just like a little bit more resistance when you do it to doing stretches in them, like a little bit more resistance you get in the material. Maybe they're not extremely soft. Like your average cheap polyester hoodie from Target might be softer, you know, but it'll get rattier, more quickly and it won't breathe as well and everything else. The last downside is that one thing people like about polyester is that it tends to hold its shape better than cotton over time. Cotton kind of like tends to shrink and expand with time and with wear and with washes and everything. If you have any selvedge denim, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of people like that. They consider it like a sign that it's a more natural fabric and everything else. But it is worth noting that, yeah, like the cuffs may stretch out a little bit over time, but they're still really high quality and they're gonna last longer than elastic ones anyway. All right, that is my review of Reigning Champ sweats. I couldn't really find many on YouTube, so I hope this is like a pretty useful look for you guys. This is definitely like the most popular primo sweatpant hoodie kind of brand that I've seen. It's always talked about on Reddit, and hopefully it was helpful bringing some of that to YouTube. So yeah, that's it. That's my review. Subscribe as well. My name's Nick. I can't remember if I said it, but I'm Nick. It's Stridewise.com, and I look at like, you know, men's boots and apparel that's built to last. Basically, I like durable stuff. So if you like that, then subscribe, and there's a lot more on the way.